वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेता स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में
मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
สัตโตวิเจเตภาวนาภาววิเจเตสัตหะอุปโยระปิตริสโตนตัสตัวนโยสัตตดาชิพี The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth. Shutto si buddho si niranjano si Shutto si buddho si niranjano si Sansara maya parivarjito si Sansara swapnam Tajamuhanidrum madala sola pamuvaja puttam Shuddho siretat tanatesti nama kritam hitat kalpanayatu neva panjatmakam dehaidam natesti neva syatvam rodisikas Seheto Neva Bhavandro Diti Vishwajanma Shabdo Yamaya Dhyamahisha Sudum Vikabhya Maya Vividhe Kulesti Kula Japauta Sakalendriyeshu Bhutani Bhutehi Paridu Palani Buddhim Samaya Diyateha Punsaha Anapubana dipire tasmat natesti ritir nachatesti hari Tvam kam chukeshi yamale nijosmin Tasmin dehe muratama vrajeta Shubha subha karma virdeha mitat Midadi vikam jukaste pinatha Tate kinchit tanaye kinchit ambe kinchit tiyate kinchit mame kinchit namame kinchit tvam puta sangam bahumana petha Nashamaya bhogan Sukhaya janati vimuttajetaha Tanyena dukkha nipunaha sukhani janati vidvan na vimuttajetaha Geeta
I think she got. Joshiji, you are the host now, so maybe we can continue. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Having said that, Joshiji, I hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Brother Peter. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev to all of you. Beautiful Thursday. Geeta Kiran gave a very soothing meditation, very emotional voice. We all enjoyed. And suddenly she disappeared. I hope everything is okay. This moment I will request Sri Kapoorji to please take over for the next 15-20 minutes and shower us with some gems from Bhagavad Gita. Over to you, Kapoor Sahab.
Thank you, Joshiji, and my dear friend Peterji, Prasadji, and all the Gita devotees on this platform. Om Gita Shastmidham Punyam Ya Pate Priyatapuman Vishnu Padam Bhaproti Bhai Shokadi Varjitaha Gita Adhyan Shilasya Pranayam Parasya Cha Naiva Santi Hi Papani Purvajanam Kritani Cha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansichanurmardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. It's a divine opportunity to come on this Zoom meeting with all the closest friends, spiritual friends. And today I intend to start my little presentation with a couple of lines of bhajan. Mere Prabhu, tu mujhko bata, tere siva main kya karun, teri sharan को छोड़कर जग की शरण को क्या करूं फूलों में बस रहा है तू, कलियों में खिल रहा है तू, फूलों में बस रहा है तू, कलियों में खिल रहा है तू, मेरे तो मन में है तू ही, मंदिर में जाके क्या करूं, मेरे प्रभु तू मुझको बता, तेरे सिवा मैं क्या करूं, सुंदर पक्षी आ रहे, महिमा तेरी गा रहे, कोयल भी मीठे स्वर में तेरे ही गुण गा रही, मेरे प्रभु तू मुझको बता, तेरे सिवा मैं क्या करूं. Today I just want to share with you the wisdom embedded in हनुमान चालीसा. हम इसको बहुत पढ़ते हैं, सबको ज़बानी याद है, कई लोग बड़ी स्पीड से पढ़ते हैं, and it is very very popular. हनुमान चालीसा जो हम पूजा पाठ करते हैं इसी से शुरू करते हैं most of the time. लेकिन we have to slow down sometime and we should put emphasis कि हम क्या कह रहे हैं, उसकी ओर बहुत कम लोगों का ध्यान जाता है, very few people, and so we are not the beneficiary. I tell you, वो रट लिया है and याद भी हो गया है, बड़ी स्पीड से भी पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन उसके अंदर जो विजडम छुपी हुई है उसको हम मिस कर देते हैं और उसका पालन नहीं करते, ओबे नहीं करते. वी कंटिन्यू टू डिसोबे दोज कमांडमेंट्स हिडन इन हनुमान चालीसा. So I just want to share with you with utmost humility one of the verse, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ाए, मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जो लाए. Now these are three conditions precedent कि हनुमान जी उन्हीं की हेल्प करेंगे who follow these two rules, golden rules, मन mind, कर्म action, और ध्यान आपका जो ज्ञान रूपी ध्यान है उसमें लगेगा through meditation. So these are the three conditions precedent if you want to be the beneficiary of Shri Hanuman Chalisa. So let us analyze when Hanuman ji was manifested on this universe. We don't know what were the formation at that time. So they came in the form of a human being. So he presents, Hanumanji represents we are also Hanumanji in our own way. लेकिन इसकी awareness नहीं है. So if you want to study the personality, divine personality of Shri Hanumanji, तो सबसे बड़ी जो quality उनमें थी, because I am mentioning these things because we are human beings and we must cultivate and imbibe those qualities if we want to worship Hanumanji. One first quality is the timeliness. Timeliness. He was never late. Whenever he got the command from Bhagwan Ram, whatever the assignment was, it was in time. He was assigned कि संजीवन बूटनी लानी है without any proper instructions. He flew, he went to that site, and he was baffled to see जो identification दी थी उस plant की, there were thousands like that. But he didn't make any excuse. मुझे तो instruction दी नहीं, let me go empty-handed. He had the courage and wisdom to pick up thousands and thousands like-looking plants. जिसको हम कहते हैं पर्वत उठा लिया. That is the symbolic reference. And he came in time. The condition was you must reach before the sun rises. Otherwise, Lakshmanji cannot survive. And he reached in time without proper instruction, without making any excuses, without complaining to Bhagwan Ram. So this is one of the characteristics, and we should cultivate this habit. Jahan aapne time diya kisi ko, go in time. Rather go 10 minutes early, so that you are not excited and agitated your host. Go in time. Respect time in all forms and shapes. So one quality is timeliness. Sankat se Hanuman swayam man karam. And your action must be in consistency with the action allotted to you. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. When Hanumanji went to Lanka, he had the golden opportunity. He met Sita ji alone. There was nobody. He had a dialogue with that divine lady, Sita ji. And he had the freedom to pick her up and bring it to Lord Rama, Bhagwan Ram. He didn't do that because it was not assigned. It was not assigned. He did whatever was expected of him. He brought the message and gave the entire episode, what happened, how it happened. And Ravana, the demon king, हम कहते थे चार वेदों का ज्ञाता था, शास्त्रों का ज्ञाता था, but literally meaning nothing. Your conduct must represent what you are. In his own kingdom, Hanumanji was brought, chained, and he was not terrified. That is the beauty. Courage. So he was so courageous. He challenged the mightiest king of the time in his own home, in his own field. So the lesson is, when you are doing, ईश्वर के जब आप काम करते हो, तो आप में इतनी courage आ जाती है, you become fearless. क्योंकि अपना काम तो आप कर नहीं रहे. तो वो जो divine powers हैं, I have been saying more than enough. And when we do divine works, invisible divine forces in the form of cosmic energy help us. And when we do bad things, invisible Saturn forces help that individual, and he becomes the worst person. So the idea is, when you are doing Bhagwan ke kaam, you are very fearless. Fear does not come into your mindset. So second quality is the fearlessness and courage. And man, karam, vachan. Vachan means your words. When you interact with people, either at home or outside world, when you step out of your home, when you interact with the people, be very mindful what you are saying. The speech should be controlled, but once you say something, you must honor it. You must honor it. हनुमान जी का सारा एपिसोड जो है रामायण में, it is full of brilliant evidence. He did that. So we, the followers, must try to imbibe this quality. If whatever you say, either don't say, but once you say it, you must mean it. आज से 100 साल पहले ऐसा नहीं था. Our great-grandfathers, when they used to communicate within the community, whatever they said, they will honor it. But nowadays, there is a contract between two people in partnership, and still they backed out. And that is why there are thousands and thousands courts and judges and attorneys. What has happened? Because we don't honor our commitment. So if you are a serious student of Shri Hanuman ji, through Hanuman Chalisa, उनकी जो glory गाते हैं, imbibe this quality, cultivate this quality, day in, day out. And then divine forces help, because it is a very good quality. It's a quality of the Almighty. So the idea is, what on this planet, we have said many times, this is the golden opportunity. It is now or never. ये जो मनुष्य का चोला है, बड़ा दुर्लभ है. Everybody knows. But then we should cultivate those habits. I should not use the revolving door. Otherwise, the theory of karma, it will kick in and they will bring me back here. This is not a freedom on this planet. It is not for entertainments. It is a serious work. It's a workshop. You have to do certain things. That is why the best apex point of creation, you are in the form of human being. So do those work at the highest qualities. And then Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Mata Rani, Prabhu, Hanumanji, they help us. They help us. And that is what this bhajan was also. You are omnipotent, omnipresent, you are all around. It is my perception. I have to reset my spiritual eyesight 2020 so that I get the benefit of जो ईश्वर की बनाई हुई सृष्टि है. We waste our time in the world of our own I-ness, जो हमने create किया है, और फिर यहीं छोड़ जाते हैं. And that's a tragedy. It's a writing on the wall. We don't get it right. So let us pray to Almighty Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Shri Krishna Ji, to give us the wisdom and strength and courage to sustain these habits, practice these on a daily basis. And that is why the art of meditation kicks in. To manage the mind is the meditation. So do it. Manage your mind. When the mind is managed, then the third eye opens. This one third eye कहते हैं. It is not a theory. It is time-tested wisdom. It is there. We don't activate it. So with these thoughts, I pray to Almighty Bhagwan कि हमें अच्छी डिटर्मिनेशन दें ताकि हम इन चीज़ों को फॉलो करें. इनको रिसाइट तो करना ही है. That should not be stopped. But then be practical also and see how much transition, how much time I invest, and did I change? If I didn't change for the last 20 years and reciting Hanuman Chalisa and didn't cultivate these habits, literally speaking, in terms of spirituality, it's a wastage of time. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev, and back to my dear friend Peterson.
Thank you so much for bringing Sri Hanumanji in our session today. It was very, very dear to Gurudev. Man Kram Vachan. That's what we learn from Bhagavad Gita also. Man is the ultimate, Kram is your work, and what you say must be honored. If that is not done, then Satnam Katha gets boilerplate. Whole crux of Satnam Katha is you commit to what you say, and when you don't do it, then all the calamities fall. With that, I request very humbly to Dr. Prasad Ji, please take over, eagerly waiting for you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Yoshi ji. Let me have this screen on.
Let me pray to Lord Sri Krishna and say Gurudev Bhagwan. Vansi vibhushita karan navanir dabhat pitambara dharunabimba paladarostat Purnendu sundar mukhat Arvind netrat Krishnat param kimapi tattvamaham na jane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev, Divine Souls. Last week, I had shared with you some thoughts on verse 29 of chapter 4, which dealt with Prana, Apan, Vayu, incoming and outgoing. I had dealt with this last week. We must remember that as we are talking about this Prana and Apan and the breath is the process of air coming in and air going out. But the Prana is the life principle which makes those movements on. Without the Prana, you may have all the facilities for breathing, but it will not do. Bhagwan says that the process upon you sacrifice the outgoing breath into the incoming and incoming breath outgoing. More importantly, you should be able to have full control over the breath, the incoming and outgoing. You restrain, and you should be solely absorbed in that process of restraining the breath. I have dealt with this verse last week in some detail. Let me move to the next verse. The next verse is verse 30, and this is the last verse in the list of those 12 yajna. Here, Lord is talking about apare niyatahara pranan pranesu jujvati sarve pyete yajnavido yagyakshapita kalmasah. There are others, there are many ways of performing yajna, and various yajna, as has been described earlier, have been practiced by different groups of people. Bhagwan is saying here, apare, others. What they do? Niyata hara. Ahar niyata. They regulate the intake of food. When they take the food, that food is regulated. It is not just anything and everything. They select the kind of food. They have control over the kind of food they ingest, they take in. And then what they do? Pranan, pranesu yujati. Again, the pran and pran is talked about. You know, we have known about the pancha prana, five types of pran, apan, vyan, udan, and saman. All those five are the vital forces. So far food is concerned, it is the saman. That saman, pran, is that which is associated with the regulation of food. the digestion process and absorption and all those things are related to Saman. And here, by giving example of one food regulation, Lord is talking about all those 5 prana. So he says, pranan pranesu yujyati. One pran sacrifices to other. One vital force offers to other vital force. That means you are able to interact with them in such a way that the activities generated in the body, the physiological process in the body are fully regulated. They are fully under control. And when we say that, then when that happens, what happens? Sarve piyete yagyavido, people know about this. They are knowledgeable about it. They are knowers of the very sacrifice. And by that doing, they are able to kalmasaha. Kalmasa is the sin, and they are able to destroy, dispel, or mitigate whatever the effect or bad effect which can be incurred. So in the process, if there anything which ill happens, which is going to have bad effect on the body in the form of sin, they are all destroyed by the sacrifice. And we have learned about this in earlier verse. In the earlier verse, when we talked about, when we talked about sacrifice, we have known that I think this here, never mind, I will talk about that later. We also know that the regulation of food, Lord talks about in verse 17 as well. When he says, Yukta ar viharasya, Yukta chestasya karmasu, Yukta swapanava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukhaha. That is mentioned, he said, you have ahar and vihar, that means eating and you getting into the environment or recreation. Your efforts should be fully balanced. You should have total regulated intake of food or getting involved in the recreation, or yukta swapanava bodhasya, when you are sleeping, your sleep should also be regulated, not that you are sleeping for so long or not sleeping that much. So these have to be regulated. And once you do that, again, Lord in this verse also talks about yogo bhavati dukkha. Your sorrows, your dukkha are taken care of once you are able to have a regulated life, a regulated way of eating, regulated way of recreation, regulated way of sleep, and all those. That is also, in a way, a kind of yajna. So that same thing Bhagwan mentions here, that once you are able to have the pranan pranesu yujati, the pran and your effort, that is kind of yajna. If they are regulated, then the sin or whatever bad effects are produced, they are completely destroyed. We have read in chapter in verse 2 of Gita Mahatma, Gita dhyana silasya pranayama parasya cha naiva santi papani purvajan pratani cha. Yet pranayam is associated with Gita Adhyayana. So Bhagavan, in this Gita Mahatma, it has been mentioned that Gita Adhyayana with pranayam takes away all kinds of sins, whether committed in this world or committed in the previous births. All are fully destroyed or nullified. So the importance of pranayam is being asserted now. Now let us move to the last verse in this series, where Lord is now trying to conclude what happens to end, after we have performed all yajna, at the end of it, how things happen, what happens to those who are perform various kinds of yajna. He says, yajna sishta mrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam nayam lokostya yajnasya Udonya Kurusattama. Yajna Sista, that means the remnants of Yajna. The Yajna Vida, Bhagavan talked about, that means you are knowledgeable. So those who are knowledgeable, they know the secret of sacrifice, they engage in the sacrifice, and once they, after engaging themselves, at the end of sacrifice, at the end of yajna, whatever remains, they partake. So say mrita bhujo, amrita bhujo. Bhujo means eating, amrita means nectar. They consider that remnant as amrita, that is nectar. That is parinam. जो यज्ञ का होता है उस परिणाम को ग्रहण करते हैं. ये परिणाम दो तरह से होता है, दो तरह की बातें होती हैं. परिणाम एक क्या हुआ, जो यज्ञ का ज्ञाता है, जो यज्ञ को जानता है, वो यज्ञ के सीक्रेट को संभाल कर रखता है. यज्ञ whatever he has realized, whatever knowledge they have gained, the secret of that knowledge they absorb within themselves. And what is the secret of sacrifice? The secret of sacrifice is one. And that is very remarkably mentioned in Shastra. The secret of sacrifice is that whatever action you perform, you take into consideration that Bhagavan is not do not take it otherwise. That means it is all those actions are Shastravid and for the benefit of mankind. All those yajna when you perform, the secret is that you should not cause any disturbance or any ill feel to anybody in the world. And that secret, you keep it within yourself. You accept it, partake it, absorb yourself. The other is the way of our taking prasad. You all know that when there is a yajna or any auspicious function is performed, then two things happen. पंडित जी आपको हाथ में जल देंगे और जल को आप आचमन करते हैं. ऐसे ये पानी तो आप पीते हैं, ग्लास में लिया पी गए, प्यास लगी आपने पानी पी लिया, लेकिन जो पंडित और आप ही जो जल लेते हैं हाथ में पूजा के बाद, भगवान को जल अर्पित करके आप जो जल लेते हैं उस जल को आप श्रद्धा सहित लेते हैं. जब आप ग्लास से पानी पीते हैं तो उसमें श्रद्धा की बात नहीं होती है. आपको प्यास लगी है, आपने ग्लास से पानी उठा लिया, उस पानी का वो महत्व नहीं है जितना आप जल कोई हाथ में आपको देता है पूजा के बाद, भगवान को चढ़ाया हुआ जल, भगवान का पैर का अपसरण किया हुआ, पैर का पूजा को दिया हुआ हाथ में वो जल देता है, तो आप अमृत समझकर उसे पीते हैं, श्रद्धा सहित उसे पीते हैं. और फिर प्रसाद भी है, जल मिलता है, फिर प्रसाद मिलता है. आपने घर में हलवा बनाया डेली में और आप खाते हैं, तो उस हलवे का वो महत्व नहीं है जो महत्व आप मंदिर में और गुरुद्वारा में या पूजा करने के बाद जब वो प्रसाद आप पाते हैं, उस प्रसाद के प्रति वो प्रसाद केवल आटा और घी और चीनी का बना हुआ नहीं समझते हैं, उसे आप अमृत समझते हैं और अमृत समझ के उसे पान करते हैं। ये यज्ञ के बाद जब ये रेमनेंट, दैट मीन्स चाहे जल का ग्रहण करना हुआ या प्रसाद का टेक करना लेना हुआ, ये अमृत समझ कर लेते हैं। और भगवान कहते हैं कि यो यज्ञ ये यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम, जो इस तरह से यज्ञ का के परिणाम स्वरूप जो जल या प्रसाद मिलता है उसको ग्रहण करता है अमृत मानकर, तो यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातना, ही टेक्स एडवांसेस टुवर्ड्स द एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, ब्रह्म की ओर उसकी प्रगति होती है। और यहाँ उसका अपोजिट में जो यज्ञ नहीं करता है उसकी क्या गति होती है? What happens to those who do not perform yajna? This is what those who perform yajna, they partake the remnants and they advance towards absolute truth. But those who do not perform sacrifice, they find no happiness, neither in this world nor in the world hereafter. Nayam lokosta yagyasa kutonya kurusottama. Hey Arjun, how can he have any anand or any santi or any sukh in this world or in other world? So the question is that we have to regard the remnant of yajna as nectar, और ये समझ करके कि ये हमने जब प्रसाद चढ़ाया था उनको भगवान खाए और भगवान का जूठन हमें मिल रहा है, उसमें जो अमृत है उसको समझ कर लेते हैं हम। क्या वन कैन इंक्वायर, क्या भगवान अपने आकर के अपने हाथों से हमारे चढ़ाए हुए प्रसाद को ग्रहण करते हैं? तो आप सुनिए, it is said in शास्त्र, अपानिपादो जवनो गृहत्वा पश्चात्य चक्षुः सशृणोत्य कर्णाः। अपानिपादो, without hand or feet, Lord partakes the food you offer. He is everywhere. Sarvatah panipadam tat. Sarvato chisuro mukham. Gita 13th chapter we have heard. 13th verse in 13th chapter, Bhagwan says, Sarvatah panipadam tat. Hey Arjun, उन ब्रह्म का सब जगह हाथ पैर है। सर्वतो चिसरो मुखम, सब जगह उनकी आंखें हैं, सब जगह उनके मुख हैं, तो वो लेते हैं हाथ से और खाते भी हैं। तो क्या भगवान के लिए हाथ और पैर का होना जरूरी है खाने के लिए या चलने के लिए या मूव करने के लिए? तो कहते हैं, बिनु पग चलई सुनई बिनु काना। तुलसीदास जी कहते हैं, बिनु पग चलई सुनई बिनु काना, बिनु कर करई करम विधि नाना, बिनु पग चलई सुनई बिनु काना। बिना पग बिना पैर के चलते हैं, बिना कान के सुनते हैं, बिना चक्षु के उनके दिखाई पड़ता है और सारे कर्म करते हैं, उनके लिए जरूरत नहीं है। तो ये दिव्य कर्म करते हैं। कर्म जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम, वो कर्म उनका दिव्य होता है, हम उनके बारे में सोच नहीं सकते हैं। यहाँ इस लेसन में हमें ये सीख मिलती है, we take the message from this verse that whatever yajna you perform with shraddha, you partake whatever the remnants are there with full shraddha, and when you do that, then you are moving towards the absolute truth. And if you do not, yes, also in 3rd chapter we have learned in 13th verse, Yajñasishtasinah santo muchyante sarvakil vishay bhunjate te tvagam papa ye pachantyatma karanat. Those who are righteous people who eat the remnants of sacrifice, again the same thing comes to Yajñasishtasina. This is third chapter, that those who eat the remnants of sacrifice, they are free from muchante sarva kilvisay. Kilvisay is sin. All sin are they're free from all the sins. And those sinful ones who cook food only for themselves, they, Bhagavan says, we paap ko hi khate hain. They verily eat sin. And that is the end of those go उनका सर्वनाश होता है. दे गो अधोगति की ओर जाते हैं. जो यज्ञ करते हैं, यज्ञ के अंश को खाते हैं, they get rid of all the sins and they move towards Brahma. Brahma की उन्हें प्राप्ति होती है. And Jai Sri Krishna. I will stop here. Thank you very much, Yoshi ji.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasadji. You have mentioned many things today, many. And in summary, I wanted to share my experience that all we are in this life is because of our vasanas of many lives. And Bhagavad Gita very clearly mentioned Punarjanma Kasanisha. Once you understand this Shraddha from your Guru, the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita, which has no depth, no one has ever gone to the ultimate depth of Bhagavad Gita. Even a little bit of understanding, little bit of Bhagavad Gita will clean all of your past, pap and karma, and make this life what it is meant to be by Brahma. Loved it, very well done, sir. Very deep. I'm sure everyone else is enjoying it. It's very tough. The only thing I know from my experience is that whenever you have a difficulty in life, just study a few verses of Bhagavad Gita and somehow something happens, it evaporates like a wax. It's alokik. Totally alokik Shastra. Unbelievable. I enjoyed Kapoorji and your company. And one faith is all we need to have that light of the life, that we can see where we came from and where we are going, and we decide our destination with the blessing of Guru, Geeta and Gopal. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. See you Sunday and of course every Thursday.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
Jai Gurudev.